John Kear, we're here at the Championship Season Launch. We've just heard from Ralph Rimmer, Tanya Arnold, the head coach of London and Sylvan Hillis of Toulouse. A real good buzz around the place.
Yeah, there is, and what a great setting, you know, Huddersfield Town Hall, and the birthplace of rugby league 125 years ago, and it's a historic setting, it's a great setting, and I think it's a very fitting setting as well. So hopefully it will launch a really good season for ourselves. I'm certain it will launch a great season for Championship League One and the Women's Super League. So lots of positives and lots to look forward to.
We've just heard Ralph talking about some of the changes to the Championship. One of those is going to be, if a game ends in a draw, there will be golden point for the first ever time.
Yeah, and that's something I think it's done properly, is this golden point, because you get the reward for the drawn game, and then it is what it says. It's a golden point. It's an extra point that you play for to try and sneak the next points in to secure that extra golden point. So I think it's done really well, done in the correct manner, and I just think it's something that will add something to rugby league.
In terms of the reserve competition, how does a club like Bradford handle it with obviously the under-16s and the under-18s?
Well, yeah, I mean, what we've done is within our budget, we've made sure that we've secured the services of a very competitive reserve team, we feel, which will obviously aid the development of our youngsters, as well as assisting people coming back from injury or people out of form. And then obviously I think that will further bolster the first team. So, and the academy has been run superbly for a number of years. You know, you've only to look at yesterday's game when we played Leeds, and I believe 13 of the 20 were through Bradford Academy. Well, that's a heck of a statistic. And also there were lots of young men as well. It was a very young team, you know, although Anthony England ups it with his 33 years of age, it's a very young team basically, and he has acquitted himself really well, and it is on the sort of backbone of a very strong academy.
And there's plenty of room for optimism for Bradford Bull supporters when you look at the next crop of junior players coming off that academy conveyor belt, none more so than Brad Gallagher, Eben Skur, Hannah Shackleton, Sam Smith,
and Keelan Foster. Yeah, let's not forget anybody, because they're all applying themselves really well, making training, and I'm giving them opportunities in this pre-season, and I agree with you. Yes, they're making me sit up and think, my word, you know, because we don't need to recruit for that position, because you look around and you just think, well, perhaps we have got cover for that, and perhaps they will push so-and-so. And yeah, they've done themselves a lot of good in this pre-season, both how they've applied themselves on the training pitch and with the meeting rooms, and when we're trying to set out our philosophy of play, but also on the practice pitch, and more importantly when they've got chance in the performance department. Because remember as well that team that went to Hunslet, who yesterday turned a championship team over, and they went to Hunslet, and they were very, very competitive, and there wasn't one of the started 13 against Castleford or Leeds who featured in that. So yes, I think we're in a good place, but the proof of the pudding will come when it becomes competitive, and that's obviously February the 2nd against London in round 1.
Are you happy with how things are progressing, building towards that season opener against London at the Tetley Stadium on the 2nd of February? I'm
very happy, yes, I'm really happy. I think we as a group are growing in confidence. I think we as a group are enjoying working with each other. There are no bad eggs at all in this group. You know, they really are focused on achieving for themselves and achieving for the group, i.e. us, Bradford Bulls. And I'm looking forward to this season more than I've looked forward to a season in a long time. I think it'll be very, very exciting indeed, with a good group of young players.
How do you assess the rest of the championship competition? Obviously London installed as favourites according to the bookies, but you know they've got Bradford at 25 to 1.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. So if we're allowed to bet, I'd have a quid on them. So but anyway, yeah, you know, we'll just bat on with that. I mean, bookies odds change a lot. I can tell you, Mick, in 1998 Sheffield were 40 to 1 at the start of the Challenge Cup competition, and you look whose name's on the trophy for that year. So you know, you never know what's round the corner. We know we're going to fight, and we're going to, in every situation, we're going to work hard in every situation, and we're going to give everything in every situation. We know that, and they're non-negotiables amongst our group. So if we do that, we'll do well.
In terms of the championship, John, though, vibrant as ever and real competitive nature.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, you've got to look at the squads that sides have assembled. London's got a good squad. Toulouse have, which you've already mentioned. But you look at York as well. You know, they spent a quid or two of York. They keep telling everybody that they don't spend any money. Well, I'll tell you, they spent a quid or two, so they'll be up there in and amongst it because they've had 2 great seasons. I think they'll have another one. And then you look also at teams like Lee, who have recruited very strongly. Featherstone will finish with a flourish and obviously look very strong. Widnes, who don't start with that deficit. So you just look around and you think, my word, this is a competitive division, and we'll have to be at our best every week in order to compete to our true ability.
You mentioned yesterday, John, about Leeds being the model club, the class act. Obviously, in the off-season there was a bit of instability at Bradford with the change of ownership. But do you believe now that Bradford have passed that hurdle and it's stability, full steam ahead?
I do believe they've passed that hurdle. I do believe it's full steam ahead with stability. But we're showing a bit of class now. And I think that was demonstrated by the owner's decision to forfeit any revenue from a 20,000 gate, you know, in order to help Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Rob Burrow. That's an act of class. And the players demonstrated class as well, Mick. They paid in to play in a game like that. That's an act of class. And that's what we're attempting to do. Our culture's got to be one where we look after all the soft touches really well. We make sure we welcome the opposition to our new home at Dewsbury. That when it's in the field of play, we make it as difficult as possible for them. And obviously we need to be standard bearers, I feel, within the championship.
And those acts, like you say, members of the staff, the players, the club donating all that money to Leeds, forfeiting it, you know, those little acts of generosity will slowly change the perception of the club.
Exactly right. I thought yesterday, you know, helped that. You know, I said in the press conference, Mick, that I get a bit sick with people pointing fingers at us. You know, I always feel that people in glass houses shouldn't throw them bricks so often. And there's a lot of people in glass houses who've been throwing bricks at us. So I get a bit sick of it. And what they've got to do is look at what we're doing now. And what we're doing now is we're demonstrating some good values, some good standards in our progress as a playing group and as a club.
In terms of the squad, John, are you happy with where it is, or would you like 1 or 2 more?
There's what? Sorry, Mick.
In terms of the playing squad, John, can we expect 1 or 2 more arrivals before the season starts?
Yes, I think you can. Yeah, I think you can. So it's further excitement for the fans. And no, Mick, I'm not going to tell you.